What's the tea? 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 What's the tea?
Hello everyone, Waterbury here with a quick message as usual, okay? Trying a new format. I'm always trying to do something new, so this is just me being Aquarius. Anyways, okay, I was just going into my progress chart. I haven't looked at it since my birthday, I don't know why, okay? But it's all meant to be because I looked at it now. Full moon in Pisces. That was around my birthday, so maybe this is why the full moon 6 months later, I'm now having this realization about what I was thinking about then. But anyways, and I was looking at my progress chart, and basically your progress chart is your birth chart, but in astrology you go a day, like my progress chart for when I turned 26 was 25 days after my birthday, if that makes sense, okay? So a progress chart for a 2-year-old, you would take the chart of the day after their birthday. And so every year you just add a new, just like your sun moves a degree, everything moves in its own. It's not all the exact same. It's a different chart where everyone moves a degree a year. But the sun moves a degree a year. Okay, so currently I'm a 10-degree Pisces. All right, and progress charts are super, super awesome because like what I just realized, okay, it just makes so much sense. And I was like, that down to the day. Okay, and if you haven't already looked on my website, I do services for your solar return, your birthday, really looking at your solar return chart is so pivotal. I think I talked about that in like a weekly, and I didn't make a video about it, but it basically is so amazing. Like when I moved down here, it was on the exact day like when the sun hit my Mars in my 4th house on my solar return chart. Like it's super exact, and it shows you kind of the energy of the year. You have a rising sign for the year, you have a moon sign for the year, and all these things, and whatever was going on around your day of your birthday affects you for that full year. You can see so much in the solar return chart. So if that interests you, you can look it up for yourself if you know how to do the chart and you don't know about solar return charts, but I do that service. But anyways, progress charts are amazing as well. There's so many aspects of astrology that really give you so much key information and understanding of self, and also how the world works and how things are, going on in the cosmos. Okay, so let me just spill a little tea about what I discovered in my progress chart. Okay, that'll kind of just explain why it's so cool. And if you don't know anything about a progress chart, you can look up yours. And if you want me to interpret it, I'm always here. Okay, and I just added the service on my website. It's called Progress Chart Energy Reading. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested in that. But it's just highly recommended. I never really recommend my services because I don't want, they speak for themselves. But this is like, okay, I'm super excited because I just figured so much out. So I was looking at my progress chart and I was like, oh my God, I'm finishing out my progress Taurus moon. Okay, and so basically every 2.5 years, because every 2.5 days the moon moves signs. So every 2.5 years the moon shifts progress signs. So for 2.5 years you're in a certain moon energy. Okay, the past 2.5 years I've been in the Taurus moon energy. Okay, which is focusing on stability. Slow and steady wins the race. The earth. So notice how much I've been posting about crystals and nature and all these things in the earth. And I'm studying herbs. I started studying herbs last year. These are all Taurus earthly things. Okay. But also Taurus is about building, a foundation, letting something grow and bud. And so notice the main thing I've been focused on the past 2.5 years has been the water bear, okay? And I've seen it slowly grow and develop into all that it is now, and it's allowed me. Taurus is also about vision forward into your reality. Okay, what are you dreaming to manifest in the future? So I've been able to really develop so many, new ideas for my vision of what the water bear is going to do past here. This is just the beginning, okay? And that's also because my progress Taurus moon is also in my natal 9th house, which is about expansion. So there's a lot of connections in that. But and so I was looking. I was like, oh my God, what day is it going to be finished? October the 30th is my last Taurus moon day. Okay, because Taurus energy is slowed. So 2.5 years ago, I was in my Aries energy for 2.5 years, and that was right when I Was finishing up college, and there was so much shifting and changing. What should I do? What should I do? And then I got into my Taurus moon. I settled down and realized, okay, I want to be, share the spiritual, and then I want to also be a choreographer. So that was been my main focus this past 2.5 years of building and developing that. Okay. And now, after October 30th, the progressed moon moves into Gemini. Okay, which is all about new excitement, new connections, new information, sharing, connecting with other people. And I'm super, super excited for it because I have my natal moon in Gemini. And what's pretty cool about your progressed moon is right before you have your Saturn return, the year before, you have your progressed new moon. Okay. Well, it's not a new moon. I'll talk about my progressed new moon in a second, but it's your progressed moon return. It's when your moon comes back around after 29 years. I mean, yeah, that's exactly right. It's about 28 and a half years. Okay. Because what's the moon cycle? We have a full moon. Well, the moon cycle lasts about 28 days. Okay. And so again, it reflects in years in your progressed chart, okay? And so I'm almost 28, okay? I will be in about a year and a half, and I will have my lunar return. The moon will be exactly where it is in my progressed chart as where it was when I was born, okay? And so it's a really big look at, the past, where you've come from, and it kind of gets you focused on what your needs, it's the moon, and my moon's in my midheaven, which is my career, that kind of thing. So it's a lot about, what I feel I want for my future, so many things, okay? And I can already feel that energy that's been strong the past couple years. But it's really I'm gonna feel it, as we get into that period. And then you have that understanding, okay? And then Saturn right after, when you're 29 to 30, you have your Saturn return, which kind of gets you ready and going, okay? And gets you like, okay, adult mode, let's go, like take it seriously, okay? So super, super excited for all these things I've been, realizing whatever. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to leave this Taurus energy moon and move it to Gemini energy after October the 30th. And I'm like, yay, okay, because that's like super, super exciting. I have felt a little slowed, and just compared to how social I was, like a couple years back, I kind of took like a reclusive period the past couple years to really learn and heal and just chill and connect with myself, learn about myself, all these things. And it all makes sense, okay? And so, I was looking back, I even looked back because I was like so interested back to 10 years ago, because I'm a 10-degree Pisces, so that means 10 years ago the sun progressed out of Aquarius and moved into Pisces. So I'm going to be the next, it's been 10 years, and then 20 years from now, I'll be in this Pisces energy, developing my Pisces kind of energy. And then I will move when I'm like, 46, I'm going to be in progressed Aries. I'm going to be lit at 46. I'm super excited for that. It's going to be like a restart. Like, here we go. Wow, like super, lots of energy. But I look back to the day that my son progressed into Pisces 10 years ago. And when I was 14, I quit dance because I was bullied, and it was just like it was just bad, okay? And I didn't dance for 14 until 15, okay? Or 14 and 15, I didn't dance 15 either. I started working, blah, blah, blah. And then when I got 16 on this day, okay, this is a crazy-ish, my friend who I ended up dancing for and then later on working for started her own dance company and asked me if I wanted to be in it, okay? And that's when I got back into dance because I was miserable. I didn't dance. Like, that's my main outlet. That's what I love to do. But I was bullied, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to just fit in, blah, blah, blah. And I was miserable. I was like, literally, anytime I don't follow my heart, and that's everybody, you feel terrible, okay? And so I felt terrible, and it was just like a really, really like tough time for me. And then literally her asking that got me back into this progressed Pisces. If you know Pisces is about the arts, creativity, expression, spirituality, and also just acceptance and following your heart and just going with the flow, okay? And a higher power, higher connection, that kind of thing. And so also karma. And so this is a very karmic thing for me. If you look at my chart, like there's so much karma around me just expressing myself, okay? And going against, any urge to restrict my shine, okay? But regardless, that day when the sun left Aquarius and moved into Pisces, where it started a 30-year journey of me exuding like a Pisces energy. And if you notice like celebrities over years, you kind of notice how they change persona. It's probably a progressed sun switching up, okay? when I moved into that, that's literally when I began dance again, and that's that. You know, and if you know dance, it's like busy, busy, busy. Like every weekend, you dance. Like I only had one day off a week. Anytime I was doing dance, like growing up, I didn't have any social life because it was dance. And so I got back into that. That dance really became back into my life, and then through dance, I connected with music again, and that's when I really started developing my like iTunes playlist, my Spotify playlist, and really getting deep. If you know my playlist, okay, I love my music, different genres, all these things. So that started then, okay, which is all that Pisces, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then gets even better because I had my new moon when the progressed moon met up with the progressed sun in Pisces, okay, about 4 years later when I was 20. Okay, or 19 into 20, okay? And that's the progressive new moon only happens every, I think it's 30 years, okay? I think it's the same, yeah, because the moon, it would hit, you have a new moon every 29 to 30 days, okay? So every 30 years. I started my new 30-year cycle, guess when, y'all, guess when, okay? It was right, it's just amazing. I graduated high school, and even in high school, no one knew I danced at my school. I was so low key with my ish, okay, because of the bullying and that kind of thing. I literally remember, and it's so crazy looking back, how much I've grown into myself. I remember telling my family to call me Jason, okay, in the auditorium because I was so nervous about, or Justin or something like that, Justin, because I was nervous about people looking, even though like clearly they would know who it is, but whatever. People at my school seeing me dance at any performance and being like, oh, go Corey. And they'd be like, oh my God, Corey dances, blah, blah, blah. Then that would just increase the bullying, the photos, that kind of thing. So I was so nervous about that. So they called me a different name. Like, if I could go back. But anyways, so I graduated high school. No one still knew I danced. And I was applying for college for architecture in Los Angeles. And because family was like, no, you're not, dance is a hobby, which now you look at my life, do something practical, that kind of thing. And I was always really good at school, so I was like, okay, and I love design, so I was like, I'm going to school for architecture. Ended up going to USC, University of South Carolina, okay, even though I wanted to go to Southern California, and apply, and I was in, I got into the Southern California too, which is so hard to get into when I got in, and, but regardless, went to South Carolina. That was family school, very, very, it's home, okay, literally, it's in the same city as where I'm at now, and my major it started out in engineering, okay, civil engineering. Then I ended up hating that and changing it to exercise science, which was a little bit more, like I loved biology in school, and clearly, because notice what I do, spiritual, holistic, all that good stuff. I've always loved that, the body and nature, all that stuff. So, got into that and was miserable. Okay, and if you look at my mission statement or my about me, it talks about at 2014 I went through a deep depression, that kind of thing. In 2013, that was the end of me being in the University of South Carolina. I went there that wasn't my major. I was still here, and I don't fit in here. Like it was just like. I was so miserable, so down. I wasn't out of the closet. It was just a lot of stuff I was going through. And then something changed. I think it was over the summer. I auditioned for something in dance. Started to see other, guys like me, dancers, an adult sphere outside of the South. I think we went to Boston for it. And I just new things started coming in because this is just the universe. It guides you in exactly where you need to go. Okay. Right when I had that progressed new moon, I made the decision, you know what, I have to get out of here. I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm going to kill myself. Like, this is, terrible situation I'm in. So I made the decision that I applied to Marymount Manhattan in New York. I went there for my birthday, auditioned, got a scholarship. Like, it was like, I put a lot of faith on there, okay? And literally moved, and that all happened right at that new moon period in Pisces. And it's that decision I made, again, it's that Pisces energy. It's like when I decided to start dance again, this is literally it. I decided, okay, I'm gonna move to New York and literally my major was dance at Marymount Manhattan College, which was a big risk because my whole family was like, no, okay, that's not realistic at all. And so I was like, okay, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it anyway. And that became my new 30-year cycle, okay? And then shortly after I moved to New York, then what I'm doing now, dancing and the spiritual, all these things. And so all that happened, I had that new 30-year cycle right before I moved, okay? And really started my journey in New York. I've been there 7 years, so it's like you can really see it's like, oh my God. So the progressed energy, the progressed chart is so crazy. You know, it's like it shows you how your life is moving and turning, and as things go on your progress chart, they shift in your life. Okay, same with the solar return, but it's like solar return is just a year. Progress chart is like a continuous thing. So it's super cool. You know, I hope my hand has been here. Hopefully you can hear me the whole time. I hope y'all can hear me. Okay, I don't want to have to do this video, but regardless, last thing I wanted to say before I kind of go, but the progressed energy is, you know, it is so cool. Like I was looking deeper today at, I was like, oh, my progressed moon is in my 8th house right now, you know, in the progressed chart. And I was like, I know that's interesting because the 8th house moon is deep, and it's, you know, 8th house is that Scorpio transformative energy. And 8th house, you go through, you know, whenever the sun passes through your 8th house, it's like you have a rebirth at the end when you move into Sagittarius, and it's like, yeah, I'm happy I made it out of that. But you go through hella trials, okay? And basically, your progressed 8th house moon is the toughest 2.5 years emotionally of your life every 30 years. And I was like, makes sense. Okay, why my life has been crazy this past 2.5 years. I'm going to do like a video and like explain everything once I'm finished through it. Okay, probably after October. It's been like, it's insane. I'm in a great place, but like, it's like the things I have been through, I keep a lot of things on the low. Okay. It's insane what has happened to me. Okay, but anyways, we'll get into that later in time. And it makes sense because you go through all these trials, and even my first big death in the family. My grandfather passed last year, and you know that it was just a lot. Okay, there's a lot of things going on, and so the moon is in my 8th house. Okay, and it's gonna leave. It's leaving. It's been there 2.5 years. It's leaving. I don't want to give the exact date, but it's coming up, and I'm super excited for it because that's you have this rebirth energy, and I've really been feeling that. Okay, the progressed moon is in my natal 9th, so I've been kind of rebirthing the past year, but it's in the progressed 8th still. Okay, and it's in Taurus, so it's like the slow and steady wins the race as you're going through. Like people said, it's like purgatory. People are saying it's like they lost everything. It's the worst thing ever. Okay, and I was like, oh my God, like I've been making it through, but it has been tough. It has really. They also talk about you take on the occult past 2.5 years. Okay, I mean, I was in the occult before then. But you get what I'm saying. Like I really have taken on fully. Like this is full time. Okay, this past 2.5 years. Okay, you know, really sharing it. Okay. So super cool stuff. And then I was looking as well at if you know, I moved from New York, and I made that choice. I realized New York. If you look at, there's so much in certain charts I do for readings. I don't have this as a service, but astrocartography. It basically shows you places on Earth and how it affects you in your chart. Okay. New York was my north node line, so whenever I'm in New York, I'm growing my soul's path. South Carolina is my moon line, which is your family, your emotions, your past, karma, all these things. Okay, and so there's so much. Your energy shifts again with a different thing in astrology. Astrology is amazing. So astrocartography, check it out. Okay, you can Google it, astrocartography. Again, I do interpret it. I do it in people's, like a couple of people, you know, for your birthday, if you want to be at a different location, we can see what'll be good. Weddings, you know, where should you have your wedding? This is, you know, you're on your Venus line is in Texas, so maybe in Texas, that kind of thing. Astrocartography is so cool. Okay, but anyways, it makes so much sense that New York grew me because once I left this, you know, emotional, familial energy of my moon line, I grew so much. Okay, and that started that whole new moon cycle. Okay, but I felt that I kind of that North Node energy. It just felt it go out. It was meant to be. Okay, and what's crazy is this year my solar return chart, the ascendant, the start of my chart is on my North Node. Okay, so it's like this whole year for me has been pushing me into my path. So I've had thoughts of leaving New York the past couple years, but it was literally like, okay, leaving New York. And so I made that choice, came down here for a lot of healing and rest. Okay, 7 years in New York, you got to like calm down after a while. And, you know, so many things. And so that occurred when my progressed moon was opposite of my progressed Pluto. okay, in my second house, all right? And I moved, I literally left, like, it was like, okay, bye New York, which was where all my belongings were, my job, everything. That, death, it ended, okay? It really, I was like, I'm not in a good place. I was like, okay, I'm kind of, felt like a hamster, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very intuitive, so I was like, look, my intuition's been telling me to get up out of here for a minute, so let me go ahead and just do my thing, okay? The deep story of how it happened, we'll get into that later in time because it involves candles and like it's been crazy. It's insane, okay? But regardless, that occurred. That leaving the Pluto and the moon completely opposite of my emotional needs, okay? How I felt, what I wanted to do to feel stable in the Taurus because it's progressed moon in Taurus, okay? And to purge myself, clear myself of the past as well, because it's in the 8th house, opposite of Pluto in my second, which is your belongings, death of the belongings, Pluto, okay? And it was my moon, my emotions opposite of my belongings. I don't want to be in my belongings anymore. They need to go, okay? So my moon, it's like opposition, so it's insane. I left and moved the exact time, not only in my solar return chart, that the sun passed over my Mars in my 4th house of home. Okay, so Mars is action and moving, okay, in my 4th house. So when I had my birthday, I already knew I was changing homes. But the funny thing is I thought I was moving to a new apartment in New York, not moving down here. So this year has been crazy. Okay, Uranus is also in my 4th house, which is a surprise. So it's like, surprise! And lots of moving. So there's another move that's going to be happening this year for me. So it's like crazy, okay? This is why astrology, it's just amazing. But anyways, so that's the solar return. So on that time when the sun hit my Mars, that also happened in my progressed chart when the moon was opposite Pluto. So you see how the charts, they all add, it's all blended, okay? And this is why astrology is so amazing, because you don't have to know all these things to get anything out of astrology, okay? Now, praise God for all the studying I've done of astrology, so I can really, it's helped me so much. And like looking, even tonight, I've discovered something new. I was like, holy shit, this has been going on, of course. Makes sense, okay? And now that's why I'm offering it as a service, because like, well, okay. But you don't need, like, just understanding your sun sign gives you so much understanding, okay? You could just follow where the sun goes through your houses, and that shows you exactly what you're focused on in time, okay? Right now, there's so many planets in my 1st house of self, and I just realized something astrologically about myself, okay? So it's like, and how myself's been developing over time, okay? With the new moon, what was that, 6 years ago, whatever, and the progression to Pisces. 10 years ago, I was looking at, oh my God, looking at pictures of, this is exactly when that happened, blah, 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 checking emails, like, it's insane, the timing, okay? So I wanted to come in, it blew my damn mind. Anytime my mind gets blown, I have to share. The tea has to be spilled. So I wanted to share about progress charts, okay? I have so many little secrets my 3rd house, which is my mind, is Scorpio, okay? My Pluto's in my 3rd house as well, so I have a secretive nature where I have a lot of information. I don't necessarily share it all, okay? I like to be selective about what I share. And so I definitely, the progressed energy, this is something that I've always loved in astrology. I'm glad that, this came up recently because it just proved more to me how amazing it is. And now I realize, like, wait, this is not just something, I thought it was just a tool, like, check it every year, see how your energy is progressing. Hell no, okay? Now I know I'm about to check this shit, like, bi-weekly, okay? To really see what's going on. And so, it's really, really great, really, really great. I wanted to come on and explain that to you. If you didn't know what a progress chart is, what that does. There's been people doing solar return charts since I've added it to my services. So, that I didn't feel like I needed to make a video about that, but I wanted to mention that as well. But yeah, if you thought that was interesting, my mind is blown. I was like, oh my God. And so now I'm really excited for when my progressed moon not only moves to Gemini, but moves into my 9th house, okay? And then I have my lunar return. There's just so much cool stuff going on. And so, yeah, I just had to share. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.